I love this first project, and I think you guys will too. All you're going to need is a bowl, some macrame cord, and some scissors. So what I started off by doing is cutting 8 2-yard strands of the macrame cord, and I just got this macrame cord at the Michaels store. So I cut 8 6-foot strands total, and I tied them all together at the end. This is going to be the bottom of the macrame that the bowl is going to sit on, and I divided them into 2 pieces across my coffee table. So as you can see here, there's 2 pieces going on each side, and this whole thing consists of square knots. And what a square knot is, just remember this, it's right over left, left over right. So you're going to put the right cord over the left and the left cord over the right to create square knots. So for this first section, I created 4 square knots about 2 inches out, and I'm repeating it here, the same thing. So I'm creating more square knots just with the opposite strand, so connecting them together. It's honestly pretty self-explanatory if you just watch what I'm doing. So you're just going to create more square knots here, and then I place the bowl on top just to check and see what placement for the next square knot would be. And for this next one, I just made it a little bit higher. This is going to really cradle the bowl. So the bottom sort of holds the bottom of the bowl, and then these ones on the side sort of cradle the edge to make sure that it's not going to fall out of the macrame. And then I just macrameed up more square knots all the way up the side just to create that very, I don't know, finished off look, so it looked really nice. And you're just going to create a section of like 6 more square knots to really bind up the edge, put your bowl in it, and you're done. This next concept is so cool, and what you're going to need is a wooden tissue box, some cement powder, a extra cup, plastic spoon, Mod Podge, and I also ended up using a paintbrush. So what you're going to do is start off with your Mod Podge. You can use matte or glossy. I opted for matte, and I put some in a cup and mixed in about a similar amount of the cement powder. And guys, the cement powder is the same one I've always used from Home Depot, $5. Mix it up into this like pasty mixture, and I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to how much you should actually use. And then I just used a large stippling brush to just stipple it all over the outside of this wooden box, and that was all there is to it. You just let it dry for about 24 hours and it turns into an amazing cement box. You can add an additional coat if you would like, if it's a little bit bare, but this is what it looks like. Also keep in mind, you can really use this concept on anything, like anything at all. Our next project is definitely for the bargain DIYer. All you're going to need is a couple colors of yarn, some wooden sticks, and scissors. Keep in mind, this is literally like a couple dollars, and you can make tons of these. So start off by crossing 2 wooden dowels and tie a knot in the center with one of your yarn colors, whichever one you would like. Keep in mind, these are totally customizable to your color scheme, so you can do that as well. And what I'd like to do next is just wrap it up a little bit just to sort of secure those rods in place so that they are just stuck there and they're not going to move. And next, what you're going to do is just follow this pattern. You're going to go over a rod and over to the next one. So you're going to loop around once, one full time, and then on to the next one. So following my pattern here, loop around the rod once and on to the next one. This is literally what you're going to do for the entire DIY, and it's going to build up your yarn colors as you go. Once you finish a color, tie off and introduce a new colorway. So I next went in with a tan color and did the same thing. So I went around the rod one time, over it, under it, and then over to the next one. Pretty self-explanatory, as you can see here in the video, and you're just going to continue this for however long you want the color block sections to be. So you can do a couple yarn wraparounds, or you can do more than that, whatever you would like. And when you get to the end of your project, it's going to start filling up, and you're really going to be able to see that design. So this is the overall motif, and you could hang these from the ceiling, hang them from the wall, whatever you'd like, create clusters. I think there's a lot of opportunity with these super affordable motifs. Saving one of the coolest projects for last, the clay photo stands. All you're going to need is some Fimo Soft clay, or just any clay in general, some gold leaf, a paintbrush, and there was a tiny bit of dental floss. You probably couldn't see it, but it was there. And I start off by taking just a quarter piece of the clay, and I knead it in between my fingers, and I'm just getting it ready for the molding process. So I'm going to mold these into pyramid shapes, which are going to be the base to our photo stands. So you're just gonna sort of warm up the clay a little bit, mold it into place, and then I'm using a tiny piece of dental floss to create the slit in the clay that's going to act as the photo stand. And I also use my fingers just to sort of maneuver around and just recreate it. So you can put it on the side or on the very tippy top, whatever you prefer. And I also wanted to create create a black marble one. So I took some black clay and a little bit of white clay and put it on the black clay, of course, and I sort of kneaded it together, but the key to creating a very marble effect is to twist it and pull it. So twist that white in there and really get it marbled in there. So once I did that, I molded it into the pyramid shape, used my dental floss, and just reshaped it into the shape that it needed to be. The clay does have the temperature you need to bake it on, so I baked it for 30 minutes at 230 degrees. Once they come out of the oven, let them cure for about an hour or so, and then on some of them, I did add a little bit of gold leaf for an extra metallic touch, but those are the photo stands. Just slip your photo in and you have a really cool little minimal stand.